Can't you see she's crying? We stuck her in this stupid costume and humiliated her.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie monster ripoffs.
Hit the creature! I'm trying to!
For this list, we'll be ranking the most infamous examples of times where films borrowed a little or heavily from cinematic monster classics. While we're not saying all these movies are bad or good, they all definitely took inspiration from more well-known plots. Which of these flicks would you watch? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Queen Kong.
Look at that great big table and chair.
Queen Kong.
Well, who's she?
Queen Kong didn't receive an initial theatrical release in its native country. This was due to threats of a lawsuit by producer Dino De Laurentiis. The same year he planned on releasing his own remake of King Kong, Queen Kong prepared to roar into cinemas. The British film is a slapsticky gender swap of the original King Kong, with Ray Fay standing in for Fay Rays and Darrow. What makes it fun to watch is that Queen Kong knows how ridiculous it is. Not only does it make fun of the Big Ape, but it also spends time making fun of Jaws too.
I know that tune. That tune. What's it called?
Well, it's nice, but you can't really dance to it.
Thanks to song numbers and a quirky sense of humor, Queen Kong is a parody of a classic with lots of character.
Get that ape off that building and back to Africa if you value your life.
Oh, Queenie, we really have overcome.
Number 9. Grizzly.
Jeez, that's all we need, a killer bear on the loose.
Well, there were two of them. We haven't found the other one yet.
While there are a bevy of When Animals Attack films out there that have tried to cash in on the success of Jaws, Grizzly may be among the very best. The film's plot centers around a big bear slaying innocent campers in a forest that needs to be stopped.
You didn't do the job, Scott.
Hey, you got your head in the sand. We got a killer grizzly on our hands.
Scott, you're a maniac.
Although it has unapologetic similarities to the plot of Jaws, the movie definitely doesn't feel as classy as the Spielberg original. Grizzly fully pushes the limits of its PG-rated violence with some fairly harrowing bear attacks, has saucy language, and throws in gratuitous fan service at a truly unexpected moment. This big and bloody ripoff film is pure B-movie gold.
I mean, it's incredible. It's programmed like some kind of damn computer.
Number 8. Botch Kizara, aka Bollywood Evil Dead. Not every suspiciously similar monster film is released right after the original. Over 25 years after Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead debuted, director Salim Raza released Botch Kizara in 2008. As the title suggests, the 21st century movie also shows us what happens when an unsuspecting group unleashes dark forces in a mysterious house. The Bollywood picture surprisingly looks cheaper than the original, despite being made so much later. Fortunately, the cast makes up for special effects shortcomings with campy and absolutely committed performances. Is the 2008 film better than the original? Definitely not. However, it's just silly enough to conjure up a good time. Number 7. The Horror of Party Beach.
Men question everyone at the party. They all give the same story. They think something came out of the sea.
Ridiculous.
That's what I thought, Lieutenant.
What happens when you combine radioactive waste with a sunken skeleton? Apparently, you get a shameless Creature from the Black Lagoon ripoff. The joy of a beach party that seemed to have invited every person in a local town is shattered when a terrifying creature rises from the water. While the original Gill-Man had a few victims, its body count pales in comparison to the amount of deaths in the horror of Party Beach.
I read all about it in the papers. This town's too hot for my blood.
Not only does the rip-off movie feature multiple monsters instead of one, but each one of them takes out an astoundingly high amount of people. Anyone who thought Creature from the Black Lagoon was too mild just might enjoy attending this bloody beach party. Number 6. I Was a Teenage Frankenstein.
But where Baron Frankenstein created a monster, I shall bring forth a perfectly normal human being, able to walk among normal people undetected.
The same year American International Pictures released the somewhat original I Was a Teenage Werewolf, they brought the much less unique I Was a Teenage Frankenstein to life. If you're familiar with the Mary Shelley classic, this movie's plot will feel like a review. It features crooked scientists trying to build a living being by using dead materials. In order to distinguish itself from its source material, one scientist has an alligator pit.
Poor Margaret. You've done your work well. You've earned your reward.
My new face?
The titular monster also gets a fresh face that makes him look like, well, a teenager. Despite having a serious lack of plot originality, the character returned for the How to Make a Monster crossover film. It seems like American International Pictures just couldn't get enough of its copycat creature.
They want to put an end to us. They say we're through. There's gratitude.
Number 5. Biohazard.
In as simple jargon as I can put it, her mental energy will receive and transmit to this location anything her mind can attract.
There have been a lot of sci-fi horror hybrid ripoffs of the Alien franchise over the years. Fred Olen Ray dipped his creative feet into that pool with 1985's Biohazard. To be fair, his film offers up something different from the average Alien ripoff by incorporating psychic powers. Actress Angelique Pettyjohn plays a woman named Lisa, who gains her special abilities after taking an experimental substance.
A mating of man and machine.
Woman and machine.
Unfortunately, officials who try to harness her abilities unintentionally unleash an alien onto the world. The creature isn't as intimidating as Ridley Scott's original creature, mainly because it's played by the director's 8-year-old son. Between the cute monster and a genuinely surprising twist, Biohazard truly stands apart from any alternative takes on Alien.
Well, he sure is cute. I wonder who threw him away.
Number 4. Chol, aka Turkish Jaws. Sometimes a ripoff like Great White will enjoy some financial success before it swims into legal hot water and is buried underneath the waves. However, 1983's Chol, affectionately called Turkish Jaws, is a completely different story. During the story, a protagonist gets left for dead in the water. One big obstacle standing in between him and safety is a notorious shark. Although this was only one scene in the film, this Turkish movie is hilariously often tied to the Spielberg shark adventure. To be fair, it does feature a sea encounter with a very similar sounding Jaws music. It's fascinating to see a movie that largely tried to be its own thing gain such a big reputation for being a knockoff because of one scene. Number 3. Hobgoblins.
And out from the top of the disc came this small creature, a sort of hobgoblin.
Out of all the Gremlins knockoffs that have been released over the years, many audiences agree that Hobgoblins is the absolute worst of them all. The creatures in this film have barely any personality and are scarcely believable as a menace. And unlike other ripoffs, Hobgoblins isn't even that fun to watch. Honestly, it's sort of a shame due to the interesting concept. The beasties in this movie possess the power to access and take advantage of their victims' deepest fantasies.
They would find a person, tap into his brain, and then create his wildest fantasy. It seemed harmless at first.
Unfortunately, the story barely capitalizes on this creative power. It doesn't help that the hobgoblins look lifeless whenever they actually appear on screen. The negative audience response to the film killed any fantasies that this ripoff could measure up to the original.
Oh, we're too late. Kevin, why didn't you go in there? Why didn't you listen to me?
Number 2. The Mighty Peking Man. In The Mighty Peking Man, a man named Johnny is eager to encounter a giant ape that could lead to fame and fortune. Along the way, he meets and falls for a woman who's basically a gender-swapped Tarzan.
We go back to jungle. You be safe.
To all units, he's calmed down. It's our best chance to get him.
Together, they take the big ape away from its home and towards civilization. Although a lot of those story beats are ripped directly from King Kong, The Mighty Peking Man feels like an honest effort to make a new narrative. Its engaging characters and fantastic ape suit help it stand on its own 2 feet, and its scenes of destruction are genuinely impressive. Famed director Quentin Tarantino was such a fan that he ensured The Mighty Peking Man got a re-release and more mainstream exposure.
All units will take up that position behind the tank. In position, you will await the signal and stand by to attack.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Gamera, the Giant Monster. The Godzilla imitator Diagoro vs. Goliath film is definitely worth a watch. However, Gamera the Giant Monster was the ripoff that spawned an entire franchise. This story features a huge turtle creature that was brought back into the world thanks to an atomic bomb explosion. Although the world perceives Gamera as a threat, it has a more gentle nature than its intimidating looks would suggest. After debuting in 1965, the creature would go on to appear in a stunning 11 additional films. Admittedly, Gamera didn't exactly reach the pop culture success that Godzilla's enjoyed over the years, but its number of outings is still impressive. What started as an attempt to cash in on Godzilla's fame branched out into a world of unique stories.
その時ガメラはどうするの？
それはわかりません。ただ、私はガメラを信じます。
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.